Hey there, teachers. If you've been looking at the new 2021 science text for Earth and space and feeling, well, a little overwhelmed, you are definitely in the right place. We are going to cut through all the jargon and get right to the heart of the key changes for grades 3, 4, and 5. My goal is to give you a really clear, actionable breakdown of what's new, what's moved, and most importantly, what it all means for you and your students. So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to quickly decode the symbols you'll see in the official documents, just so we're all speaking the same language. Then, we'll walk through the specific Earth and space changes for 3rd, then 4th, and then 5th grade. And we'll wrap it all up by connecting the dots and highlighting those big instructional shifts you can start thinking about right away. All right, let's dive right in. Before we even look at the standards themselves, it's super important that we're all on the same page. This first part is all about understanding the symbols you're going to see in those side-by-side comparison documents. First up, you've got this blue circular arrow icon. Whenever you see this little guy, it just means a standard has been revised. The main idea might be the same, but the wording, and especially the verb, has probably been tweaked or updated. Next, we have the orange trash can. And yeah, this one is pretty self-explanatory. It means a standard from the old 2017 TEKS has been totally removed from that grade level. Now, it might have been moved somewhere else, or it could just be gone completely. And finally, the green new icon. This is the fun one. It flags a brand new student expectation that's been added in the 2021 TEKS. Simple enough, right? Okay, let's put these symbols to use. Let's kick things off with 3rd grade. The big theme here is all about sharpening the focus. You know, the changes might look small on paper, but they are incredibly powerful. They're all about pushing for more specific, more observable, and more measurable actions from our students. So the key to really understanding the 3rd grade changes is to look at the verbs. For soil formation, the old standard asked students to explore and record, but now they have to investigate and explain. See that difference? And for rapid changes on Earth's surface, it shifts from simply investigate to the much more active model and describe. Now, this isn't just a word swap, it's a huge shift in the cognitive demand we're placing on our kids. We're moving away from more passive tasks, like just exploring and recording observations, to way more active, higher-order thinking skills like explaining, modeling, and describing. And this right here, this is the why behind all these changes. It's not just about changing words on a page. The goal is to make a student's understanding visible and tangible. I mean, when a student can actually model a landslide or truly explain how soil is formed, you have clear, measurable proof that they've got it. All right, on to 4th grade. The story here is a little different. It's about realigning some content, but more importantly, it's about looking at familiar content through a completely new instructional lens. And this is a really critical shift for us as teachers. Let's take a look at the water cycle standard, 4.10a. Now notice this. The wording is identical. Word for word, it's the same in the 2021 text as it was in the 2017 text. The core content expectation hasn't changed at all. So this brings up a really important question, right? If the words on the page are exactly the same, does that mean we just teach it the same way we always have? Is anything truly different here? The answer is a big yes. Something is very different. While the what, the water cycle, is the same, the how has completely changed. This is the most crucial point for every single standard, new or old. It all has to be taught through the new lenses of the reoccurring themes and concepts, the RTCs, and by having students actively apply the science and engineering practices. So instead of just showing a diagram of the water cycle, you might have students develop their own model to explain how energy from the sun drives that entire system. That's real inquiry. Oh, and another big heads up for 4th grade. There's been a key content shift. The standard that asks students to differentiate between weather and climate, that has been moved down from 5th grade into 4th. That's a pretty significant structural change to keep in mind for your curriculum maps. And now, let's talk 5th grade. The revisions here are really all about creating deeper connections between concepts and bringing more clarity and measurability to what we're asking students to do. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Take a look at these two. In 5.10a, the water cycle standard now explicitly tacks on and affect weather, forcing that direct connection. And hey, look familiar? Just like we saw back in 3rd grade, 5.10b for sedimentary rocks changes that passive verb explore to the much more active and demonstrable model and describe. So what does this mean for your classroom?
Well, first, you've got to explicitly link the water cycle to weather phenomena. Second, that shift from explore to model and describe for rocks, and from recognize to model and identify for landforms, means your lessons need to be more hands-on, more active. And third, you'll notice the language all around has been tightened up to really emphasize cause and effect.
And if you're sensing a theme here, you're absolutely right. This quote, directly from the source documents, sums up the entire philosophy behind all of these verb changes across all the grades. The goal is to make the student expectation more observable and measurable. That's it. That's the whole ballgame. Okay, so we've worked our way through each grade level. Now let's zoom out and put it all together. What are the big, overarching takeaways that you can bring into your instruction? Here it is, boiled down into 4 key instructional shifts. Number 1, shift to active verbs. Really prioritize words like model, describe, and explain. 2, emphasize those measurable outcomes. Design your lesson so students can clearly show you what they know. 3, make sure to note that content realignment in your planning. And number 4, and this is the most important one, apply the new lenses. Teach all your content, even the stuff that looks unchanged, through that framework of the RTCs and the science and engineering practices. It's not just about covering stuff anymore. It's about teaching our students how to think and act like scientists and engineers. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. These changes, they're not just another checklist from the state. They're really an invitation. They're an opportunity for us to rethink our instruction and to design experiences that truly empower our kids. So how can you use these shifts to transform your students from being just passive observers into being active, engaged scientists in your classroom this year?